Hey guys, Will here. In this video, I want to talk about 7 tips or steps you guys can take to ensure a warm, cozy sleep in the middle of freezing cold winter when you're sleeping outdoors. So let's dive in. Step number 1, double it up. For sleeping pads, most people, especially if you have like a 3-season pad with an R value up to about 3, that's good for spring, summer, fall for most people throughout most of the, at least the lower 48 states. But when you get into winter, you're either gonna want a sleeping pad that goes up to an R value of approaching 5 or more. Especially if you're sleeping in higher elevations or cold single digits, teens. When temperatures get down that low, you definitely want to start looking at a higher R value sleeping pad, or you can double up your 3-season pad. This one I have is a climate insulated ultralight SL, so it's actually a 4.7 value. I could probably get away with it down to the teens and be just fine, but for single digits and sub-zero temperatures, I mean extreme cold, it doesn't hurt to bring along an extra closed cell foam pad. This case I've got a Thermarest Z Lite, but you could probably just get away with like a cheap $5–10 cheap blue pad you can get at Walmart or a local camping store. But yeah, just a closed cell lightweight foam pad you can strap on the outside of your pack and put that under your 3-season sleeping pad, and you should be in pretty good shape for having adequate insulation for your midwinter cold temperatures down to probably 0. I've slept in near 0 temperatures with setup like this and was just fine. All right, step number 2, rate it. That's right, rate your sleeping bag. You do not want a typical summer lightweight thin sleeping bag. You want to go for something, in my case here in Utah, again, we get down, if we go in the backcountry, you got to prepare for near 0 temperatures, and sometimes even sub-zero with wind chills and things like that. So you definitely want a 0-degree bag if you're sleeping out in extreme cold temperatures. This bag I have here is a Teton Sports Altos Zero. It's EN rated, which means it is literally rated to be comfortable down to near 0 degrees. And I have definitely found that to be the case for me. So this is a big step up for me, by the way, because I used to have a Coleman, huge, heavy Coleman Zero. I still have it at home, but I only use it for like car camping. But this is a down bag, and I love it. So whatever the brand you get, definitely try to get yourself a bag rated for those cold winter temperatures. This is a bonus tip. The less room you have, the less space you have for your body to heat up in your bag, the more efficient it's going to be with the rating your sleeping bag for the proper rate. Also, like, make sure it's sized just right for you, and that will help too. Bag that's too tight or too large, too tight's obviously going to be uncomfortable for obvious reasons, but a bag that's too large, it's going to take extra body heat to warm that up, and that's just not very efficient. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking for, if you're shopping for a new winter bag, and this goes for any sleeping bag, just get the one that is good size for you, not too wide, not too long. And that's going to lead right into step number 3, clothing. Optional or not. If your bag is rated for the temperatures you're in, and I mean comfort rated, some people who sleep warm already are going to be fine with like sleeping in their underwear, and some people really do that. Yeah, so you know, in that case, your clothing is optional. And but for me, I still like to play it on the safe side and still sleep with at least a layer of clothing all over my body. So for that, I have this fleece base layer long sleeve shirt. This is by Terramar Gear, but just, you know, merino wool, any kind of long sleeve shirt that's got some thermal insulative properties to it, be it wool or like merino wool or fleece in this case, will definitely help up the warmth and comfort factor, at least for me, and probably for a lot of you. For pants, I have a lightweight fleece pants, kind of loose fitting here, and those work really well for me. And then for socks, gotta keep my feet warm, I have these thermal insulative extra thick boot style socks. They are just thick, lined with fleece and some other thermal fabric, and super warm for my skinny, cold feet. And then for your head, I like to sleep with some headgear of some sort. So usually just like a fleece beanie of some sort, like this. And I also like to put have a neck warmer on me. So I will usually use like a little buff, which is what these are, and I can basically just slide this over my head, and it'll just kind of loosely wrap around my neck and help kind of insulate my neck a little bit. I've also seen, or I also have a balaclava. I forgot to bring that, left that at home, but balaclavas work great. I've even seen down balaclavas, which I saw on eBay the other day and looked mighty tempting to get. So I might consider getting one of those soon. But yeah, that should do it for clothing. So make sure you have a nice layer of clothing. And then if you have like a puffy jacket or a insulated jacket, have that on hand just in case your sleeping bag's not doing it or the temperatures plummet further than expected. You know, have your puffy jacket cocooned with you inside your sleeping bag, or at least to the side, so you can pull that in and either put that on or at least, you know, close off some of that space for your body to warm up in your sleeping bag. All right, step 4, eat up. That's right, when you're getting ready for bed, you're gonna wanna eat some extra calories. And it doesn't have to be too much. You may have had dinner much earlier in the evening, but top off your stomach a bit with a calorie-rich snack. So that could be like a granola bar or two, could be a Snickers bar is great, or any other kind of candy bar like that. Just a lightweight, moderate snack that's got a lot of calories, because what's gonna happen is as you eat that and give your body more calories, your body is gonna create a little furnace effect as it digests that food. And so once you're in your bag and that digestion starts to take place, it's gonna start generating those, generating some little extra heat. Also, in addition to eating up, you wanna drink up. You wanna be well hydrated, and that's gonna help your blood flow better and be a little thinner. You just don't want, you know, to be dehydrated or low on fluids, because that's gonna cause your blood to be a little thicker. It's not gonna flow as well. You wanna have good circulation as you're laying there in bed, and you want that blood flowing to all your extremities really smoothly, and being well hydrated helps. So that's something to keep in mind. And who doesn't like a good little snack right before bedtime? Are you gonna have to get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night because you drink up a little bit before bed? Maybe, but it's worth it. And that's speaking of blood flow, that leads us into step 5, workout, baby. That's right. You want to exercise a little bit. Not enough to get a sweat. You definitely don't want to break a sweat, but a moderate amount of exercise, just a minute or so of maybe jogging in place, doing some jumping jacks, 30 seconds to a minute should be plenty sufficient, just enough to get your blood, heart pumping and that blood flowing through you, get that circulation system going on you, and that's gonna help you start generating heat and be more comfortable as you get settled into your sleeping bag for the night. Step 6, heat it up. I like to make a heater to go in my sleeping bag with me, and one really good trick that works really well for me is taking an Nalgene bottle like this one here and taking about a liter of water close to it and pouring it into my pot. You'll obviously want to make sure that your pot is capable of carrying 1 liter for this. And so in this case, I've got a GSI Halulite kettle here. And I will boil that on my stove, bring that all to a boil, and then dump it right back into my Nalgene. Close the lid. You'll want to make sure that lid is nice and tight. I've made the mistake of not having that tight all the way, or making sure it was tight, and had some pretty hot water leak out on me as I got tucked into bed. Also happened to one of my daughters once, so not fun. That's not a good thing to happen. So make sure you get a tight seal on there before you proceed with dropping it into a sock. So you definitely want to pack an extra pair of big socks, something that's big and stretchy enough to take a Nalgene bottle, or you could take some other kind of sleeve or any kind of cloth that can stretch around and hold snug around the bottle. And what that'll do is that'll protect you from your skin, any skin exposed from coming into direct contact with that hot Nalgene bottle. It will also help insulate that bottle and kind of slow down the disbursement of the radiant heat. And I think in my experience, I think it helps to preserve that heat and kind of slowly dissipate it throughout the night. So much so that even in the morning, I've woken up and found the water to still be somewhat warm to the touch. And so, does it burn a lot of fuel off in the evening? Yes. So you might you might be the type that wants to conserve your fuel, but I find the offset to that is you don't have frozen water or even cold water in the morning, especially not ice cold water to heat up. So by having water that's at least room temperature to even slightly warmer than that by the time you wake up, you're going to get a much quicker boil in the morning for a fast cup of hot chocolate or coffee or whatever hot drink of your choice might be in the morning. And plus you have extra water for oatmeal or whatever other breakfast you're making. The point being, you've got liquid water, unfrozen, and even slightly even warmer than normal to get a real fast boil for a quick and hot breakfast and drink. So well worth it in my opinion. But if that's not your cup of tea, other people I know like to take hand warmers, these little Hotties brand hand warmers. They'll crack open a couple packs of these and throw these down, maybe a couple down by their feet, a couple up under their armpits or around their chest area, and those will radiate a little bit of heat. And most of them are gonna last you up to about 8 hours. Some are even made to go a little longer than that, I think I've seen. So again, that's another tip for adding some heat to your sleeping bag. And finally, step number 7, don't hold it. We talked about hydrating and being well hydrated earlier, and the high chance that might make you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or feel the urge to go to the bathroom, the temptation is to suffer and hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it in your bladder, because you're already warm, you're cozy, you do not want to get out into that frigid, cold, mid-morning, early morning air. Hey, look, the sun's back out. So that's just not a good choice to make, because your body has to then focus all of that heat that it's trying to send elsewhere into the body. It's going to take that heat from your extremities, and it's going to concentrate that heat around your bladder to keep that pee, or to keep the urine in your bladder at your core body temperature. And so the quicker you can get out of the bag and empty that bladder and then jump back in your bag, yes, it's a mild inconvenience. It's actually a huge inconvenience, but it's worth it, because you will get colder in the long run if you try and sit there and hold it until the sun comes out. Just get out, go, then you can jump back in your bag. If you did your water heater, that'll be waiting for you, still be warm. You can snuggle up with it, and you'd be surprised at how quickly you can warm up again. You can even do a little exercise, some bit more jumping jacks or running in place when you're right before you jump back in your bag after taking care of business. That's it, guys. 7 tips and then some to ensure a warm, cozy sleep in the middle of frigid, cold winter, even down to 0 degrees, especially down in those cold temperatures. Doing all of these steps will pay off for a nice, warm, restful sleep. So, hope that's helpful, guys. For those of you who like to winter camp or are considering winter camping but too scared of the cold and not being able to sleep warm enough, I hope those tips help. Please give it a thumbs up if you found that information helpful, and subscribe if you want to keep seeing more of my videos. Thanks, guys.